G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wildkard. Thank you for being here and watching my content. As always, it is my pleasure and the absolute privilege to talk about the greatest sport in the world, rugby. Comes the day, come the hour, come to fight for the ultimate glory. Jonathan Sexton has come to answer Ireland's call, to bring victory to all four provinces of Ireland. Yes, this is the story about Johnny Sexton. This is probably the biggest match in his illustrious career, yet there could be bigger ones to come beyond the quarterfinals waiting for him. But this is the first hurdle to the ultimate glory of the Webb Ellis Cup. And oh boy, let's just go back there in time a little bit just to understand the gravity of this situation we're facing here, okay? Let's go back to 2021. 2021, 15th of February. A day I still remember because this was the day Billy Burns ended his career for Ireland. Oh, what a tragedy that was. I still love you, Billy. I still am waiting for your return to the Irish lineup, but that was the day where Billy Burns ended his international test career with the Ireland team. Obviously, Johnny Sexton was injured. There was a lot of speculations that Johnny Sexton was done and out. And that was it. Everybody was looking at the, the replacements coming through as who's going to take the 10 jersey. But oh boy, Johnny Sexton says, no, I am not done. He returned from this day, 28th of February 2021, and he has taken Ireland to heights that has never been seen before. At 36 years of age back then, 2021, 36 years of age, you could not believe how good this guy was coming back from an injury. He has taken Ireland to win every game except one that was against New Zealand at Eden Park, where literally nobody has won since 30 years or something, right? That's the only match he's lost when he was on the field for Ireland, and the only other match Ireland has lost was against France in the Six Nations in 2022, which Johnny Sexton was actually injured for that match and not able to play. So, yeah, all these wins for Ireland are just a testament of Johnny Sexton and his absolute will to take his team to the next level. He's currently 38 years of age and he's facing the biggest challenge of his career, the Springboks at the Rugby World Cup. Yeah. By the way, this loss was the Ireland, not the actual Ireland team. This was the Ireland B team against the Maori that was played in the middle of the week. So that doesn't count. That does not count at all, even though he says Ireland there. So yeah, that's the current state of Irish team. That's how important Johnny Sexton is, and that's how good Johnny Sexton is. So yeah, let's have a look at the history between the two teams, between Ireland and South Africa. So there is a lot of games there hasn't been a lot of games being played since between the two teams. So there's only one between the last Rugby World Cup, and the one before that was in 2007. So this one here, I really want to talk about it a little bit more. So this game here, Johnny Sexton was available to play in 2022, and South Africa was actually having a lot of injury issues. They basically had the greatest Springbok in the history of the Springboks, Damian Willemse, playing at 10. They were basically trialing as the 10 position for this match, and in the end, we can have a look at the stats to see what the differences were. In the end of the day, the Irish was able to really put too much pressure on the Springboks forwards. A lot of turnovers conceded by the Springboks and leading to penalties. And then the goal kicking was also a big difference because Damian Willemse, yeah, not really the greatest goal kicker in the world at that time. Really, one goal the difference, 19 points to 16. And yeah, that is something that the Springboks will be looking to address this game. But the team that played in this match is a completely different team from what we're going to be seeing tonight. Okay, not completely different, but the biggest difference will be Damian Willemse not at 10 and Manny Balbok will be the 10 jersey. And that could be the crucial difference between the two teams coming in this weekend. So obviously, every Rugby World Cup game, the most important player on the field is actually the referee. Which team he decides to play for, who knows, right? So Ben O'Keefe is the best New Zealand referee. I think he might be like the head referee of New Zealand or whatever. So he's really good in terms of getting the rules. So in Super Rugby, he is a little bit looser with his calls, but in the international test matches, he's a little more stricter. So there is a bit of variance to how strict he will be on the field. But I think with big test matches, Ben O'Keefe is very unlikely. The likelihood of him issuing like crazy yellow cards and so on, it's very low. So I think the game is in good hands with Ben O'Keefe on the field, and I think that we shouldn't be seeing any referee controversials out of this match. This match will be also played in Paris on a Sunday, nice clean day. There could be some rain leading into it, but it's gonna be fine overall. So yes, let's have a look at the lineup between the two teams. Obviously the Springboks coming into this game has recognized that the turnovers they were conceding could have been an issue with the 4-pack. They have opted to put in 2 additional forwards in the bench. So with the 7 forwards, with only one reserve back on the bench. So there's 7 forwards on the bench and only one back reserve for the Springboks. So how is that going to work out against Ireland? My honest opinion, I think 7's probably one too many, because the Irish strength comes from their centers, and having 2 extra forwards on the bench, it's not having basically an extra lock and an extra loose forward. I just don't think that's gonna be enough to neutralize the pressure that Ireland's gonna be bringing in the 12 and 13 channel. And I think that not having an extra center to replace as a replacement for the Springboks, for example, not having Esterhuizen to come onto the field, I actually think that's a disadvantage for the Springboks, to be honest, because the Ireland will be targeting that, the center combinations all game, and with our reserves, the Springbok centers will be working for the entire 80 minutes, and that could be the difference when it comes to the two teams in the end of the day. So yeah, that's kind of like my overall feelings of how this is going to turn out. But let's have a look at some of the details, right? So first up, the Springboks front rowers, Stephen Kitsoff, the best loose head prop in the world. He's up against a lot of people think that the best tight head prop in the world in Ty Furlong. Obviously, this is the best 2 front rowers, in the world right now. There's, whoever wins this match will just be hands down the best in the world at the moment. Bugin Bugnabi comes in number 2. Obviously, Malcolm Marx has been injured and out, and Bugnabi has been always consistently good for Springboks. In fact, there was a time where Bugnabi was consistently starting before Malcolm Marx kind of started starting recently, maybe like last year or so. Before that, Bugin Bugnabi was basically the starting number 2 for the Springboks for a very long time. Franz Maherba comes in number 3, the big tight head prop. And he's again wanting to show that dominance. He had a bit of a issue with the Scotland loose head prop, Pierre Schoeman. So he's going to be looking at studying those video footages really hard and figuring out how he's going to figure out his positions against Andrew Porter this weekend. Because Andrew Porter, 100% sure, would have watched those tapes and worked on that technique to go up against Franz Malherbe this weekend. Andrew Porter is just one of the strongest players in the Irish team as well. And his technique is just incredibly good in scrummaging, and he's also incredibly good ball carrier as well. Ronan Keller comes in for Ireland at number 2, with Dan Sheehan returning from injury, but he's on the bench. Ty Furlong, like I already mentioned, is looking to solidify himself as that, a lot of Northerners would consider him as the number 1 tight head prop in the world, will consider himself to try to solidify himself and do a number on Stephen Kitsoff this weekend. So this front row battle is the biggest front row battle of 2023. I actually just excited thinking about how big these scrums are gonna be. Someone just put the ball down like a minute into the match and just get the scrum on, please. Just that's my wish. Coming in the locks positions, Eben Nesmith had a bit of shoulder injury out of the Scotland game. He's gonna be okay. So there was some conspiracy going in this game that the Springboks gonna be taking someone out from the 7 forwards and putting in Henry Pollard as the additional as the second back reserve. And if that to happen, I think the person that's gonna pull it out is Ibn Esbeth, to be honest with you. I think they're probably gonna be, yeah, depends on the severity of his shoulder injuries. They're probably gonna be like, we might just take him out as precautions. But I don't think they're gonna put 100 Pollard on the bench. I do think that they're probably gonna put either Esterhazen, most likely Esterhazen, or Willie LaRue. I actually think that it would be smart for them to put Esterhazen as the additional back reserve instead of Willie LaRue for this particular lineup, just because of the center combination, how much the Irish likes to target that 12 and 13 channel in their attacks. So yeah, that's my theory of what's going to happen. But we'll have to see if Springboks going to actually make the change to their 7-1 back or not. Franco Moster comes in number 5. Again, he's been tremendously good for the Springboks in that lock position. I always felt that he's the best lock, best suited for the locking positions. He has been, obviously playing at the blindside flanker positions a lot, as as that utility that he brings. But I do think that he's the best lock. Like, he has been, put into lock position due to injuries, and then he just been building on that quite well, and is starting to show how good he is in those set pieces. Ty Byrne comes in number 4 for Ireland, and James Ryan, the two, veteran now combinations for Ireland. Extremely good scrummagers, extremely good line operators, and extremely good set piece. Ty Byrne, extremely good at the breakdown, really high work rate. He's almost like a loose forward on the field. And the amount of times that Ty Byrne has like saved Ireland from a try inside their own 22 is just, I can't tell you how many times I've seen this guy just do those magic for the Irish team, and he's be looking to do that again this weekend against the Springboks. Coming the loose forwards now, we've got Sia Khaleesi, the captain, better than ever with a knee surgery. They probably put I don't know what they did to him, but he's actually better. They may have added something into his knee to make him function better, because he looks stronger, he looks faster, and he looks better than ever before he had that injury. Peter-Sep du Toit comes in at the blindside flanker position in number 7 jersey. He's the guy that marks the tight spaces around the racks, and I think that his discipline will be the most important part of the game this weekend. Like, sometimes around the racks in tight spaces, he needs to really make sure that he doesn't give away penalties, because that will convert him straight to points, and also, not to get himself, yellow carded or anything like that. Like his discipline is really, really, really important. Finally, a number 8 jersey, Jasper Visa, one of the high ball specialists in the Springbok 4-pack. He's got a lot of speed. He's extremely good under the high ball. He's going to be the one that pressures one of the guys that's going to pressure a short box kick from Faf de Klerk, and he's also a really, really good ball carrier when he gets some space out wide as well. So he's absolutely tremendous for Springboks in recent times. For the Irish, Peter Romani comes in number 6 jersey with that veteran experience in the blindside flanker position. Extremely good at the breakdown as well, and just a world of experience that it's going to bring to the game. Josh van der Fleer, I think it was the player of the year last year. Again, just exceptionally good as a loose forward. The work rate, the ball carries, and just completely different, completely a different style that he brings to the Irish team. Like he's almost functioning like a number 8 at times, just with that carry game that he brings for the Irish team. And then Caelan Doris finished up at number 8 jersey, bringing that size at the back of the scrums, bring that stability that the Irish team looks for in those tight channels that they like to crash the ball with Caelan Doris very, very frequently. One of the weapons Johnny Sexton likes to use around those tight spaces. Now the backline, this is the same backline the Springboks has brought in from the Scottish team, from the Scottish game. Faf de Klerk comes in number 9. The box kicking is going to be extremely important for Faf de Klerk. The accuracy needs to be really, really, really high, and really make sure that those are contestable, and that will be the key. There has been a number of aerial specialists that the Springboks has brought in for this match, so I will be expecting that box kick to be one of the key areas that they will be targeting. Jameson Gibson Park will be the number 9 for Ireland. His job is to create quick ball, very different from Faf de Klerk. His job is to get the breakdown as quickly as possible and get the ball delivered to Johnny Sexton for whatever Johnny Sexton wants to do. It's all about fast ball for Ireland. Man in the block, this will be one of the biggest tests, if not, this is actually probably the biggest test in his entire career, up against the best number 10 in the world, obviously. Man in the block has developed tremendously well. I'm very, very happy and for this guy, and I'm very, very, proud to watch to see how good this guy has become. Because, like I said, last time Ireland played South Africa, Mane Lebok was considered not good enough to be the number 10. And, the greatest player of all time, Damien Willemse, stepped in, and it was looking like he was going to be the new replacement number 10 for the Springboks with the absence of Henry Pollard. But no, Mane Lebok worked good, solid performances for the Stormers. That translated into hard work and solid performances for the Springboks. And now he's just really hammering down that goal kicking. That 100% goal kicking that he showed against the All Blacks is going to be one of the major areas that he needs to prove to the entire nation of South Africa that he's the one to bring the Webb Ellis Cup back home. This weekend will be the biggest challenge of his life, and just really getting that goal kicking on point is really everybody's hoping for out of Mane Lebok. Not to mention that his no-look crossfield kicks, all that aside, goal kicking will be his main focus this game. Jonathan Sexton, I've already talked enough about him. The greatest player in the history of Irish rugby. I don't care what you say about Brian O'Driscoll. Johnny Sexton is just that good. And this is his moment. This is his time. This is final stand. Last stand for Johnny Sexton, going for the Rugby World Cup to bring that back to Ireland. And then number 11, Cheslin Kolbe, high ball specialist. One of the best player with the ball, one of the most dangerous player with the ball, and he's going to be one of the players. He's going to be really targeting under the high ball from half to cloak. James Lowe, one of the guys that also pretty good under the high ball, brings a little bit of kicking game from Ireland team. Really good with a bit of the space, but I do think that just Cheslin Kolbe actually has a bit of an edge over James Lowe in terms of speed. The center combination now this is a very big area. I'm actually surprised that the Rassi Rasmus and Jackson Inaba hasn't made adjustments at the 12 and 13 combination. Damien de Linde is really good at running the ball, really good defense. But anyway, Jesse Kriel, Damien de Linde, I think they both are brought in for the defensives, and I just don't know that they actually create space for each other. That's my main concern between the two. I don't think either of them create space for each other. That's kind of like how I see it. I know some of you guys disagree, but that's just how I see it. And this is a really important matchup of the area. Bungie Aki and Gary Ringrose, I think two of the most dangerous, if not the dangerous, centers in the world. I think Gary Ringrose is by far the best outside center in the world right now. Maybe Lukamio Arm, if he wasn't injured, could challenge that. But Gary Ringrose is so good, so dangerous. Give him a tiny bit of the space, he's going to utilize it to the maximum potential. And Bungie Aki against I think it was against last week against Tonga, showed how good he is at just picking those tight angles and fighting himself through the little gaps. So the defense will be impeccable, needs to be absolutely impeccable from Damien de Linde and Jesse Kriel to neutralize the two absolute attacking weapons that the Irish possess, and that's going to be really important. It's going to be almost like the immovable object that the Springboks defense is going to be, and then the unstoppable force that the Irish is going to be bringing in that center field position. By the way, is it possible? What happens when an immovable object meets the unstoppable force? It's no longer a paradox. Basically, the unstoppable force can just pass through immovable objects. That's basically how science work now. So there's literally photons or something that passes through objects without interfering with them. So if there is an object that is immovable, you technically can have a photon just pass straight through it. Yeah, so that's no longer a paradox. There you go. So, and then we've got number 14, Curly Alenza. Excuse me, I'm a bit too excited. And then we've got Curly Alenza, comes in number 14. Mac Hansen comes in number 14 as well. Two very dangerous players. I do think that the Springboks, if they can create space for Alenza will be more dangerous than Mac Hansen. But like I said, the Springboks has more talent out on the wing in the wider spaces, but the Springboks has much better power out of the center combinations. And at a fullback position, the two very, very important players in the game when it comes to the kicking game. Damien Willemse, the greatest Springbok in the history of Springboks, absolutely spectacular under the high ball, and incredibly good kicking game as well. Hugo Kinham, same thing, impeccable under the high ball, extremely good kicking game, and both players will be under a lot of pressure from the oppositions under those high balls. Now let's look at the back line, the reserves now. First up, we got De Jong Fourie, my hero. I think I probably can debut for the Wallabies at 36 of the age, so I'm still, aiming for that. But De Jong Fourie, he's obviously currently normally plays for as a flanker, but he's doubling up as he used to play hooker. But most likely situation depends on how the game goes. If things are going really, really tight, De Jong Fourie might stay as a hooker and do the throws. But if the game is a little bit, loose, like what happened, against Romania, De Jong Fourie might just move to flanker again, and they will have Marco van Staden at the hooker position. And then Ox Incher comes in at number 17. Trevor Nyakane comes in at number 17. The two extremely good finishers, bomb squad members. Like the two players, you can tell that there's a massive height advantage for the Springbok front rowers. 176, 173, 178. Extreme, like basically 10 centimeters shorter. More than 10 centimeters in some cases. Over the Irish reserves, and that lower body height is exactly what the Springboks wants to target in the second half to immediately get that penalty, immediately get those rolling morts going. But especially against tired forwards, they're just gonna take that height advantage over the opposition. So that's the game plan for the Springboks with these three guys. Dan Sheehan comes in number 16. He's returning from injury. Dave Kilcoy gets the nod at number 17 jersey, and Finlay Billam comes in number 18 with obviously Cian Healy injured for the Irish side. In the locking position, in the number 19 jersey, John Clang for the former Irish international, currently one of the best locks in the world. I think one of the best locks in the world. His performance for the Springboks is absolutely outstanding, and his partner in crime, Achis Neyman, the two combinations has been tremendously well for the Springboks. Both of them returning to the Springboks are just massive assets in the lineout. The Springboks used to rely solely on Eben Etzebeth to basically handle all the lineouts. With these two guys returning to the team, it's like the lineout options are just there's so many different options they can do with the lineouts. Eben Etzebeth is no longer like the B1 or B or the irreplaceable player anymore in the lock position. Ian Henderson comes in number 19. Ryan Baird comes in number 20 for Ireland. Marco van Staden, like we mentioned, he's normally a loose forward. At number 8, he can also double up as a hooker. Conor Murray comes in number 1 for Ireland. And finally, the 7th forward on the bench, Huaga Smith, the former Sevens player, brings a lot of speed, a lot of talent. He's pretty much, he can pretty much play a center with that, Sevens talent. And he's going to be playing basically his entire Sevens match with the last, 20, 25 minutes when he's going to be put onto the field. Just really bring in that, utilize all that Sevens talent in the short frame to try to make a difference to the game. And then Jack Crowley surprisingly gets the nod over Ross Byrne to be the reserve number 10. Yes, Jack Crowley has been obviously extremely good for Munster. Obviously winning the URC this year in South Africa, a massive achievement. And I think that, what he brings to, what he has brought into the Irish team is quite impressive. And I do think that he is currently the better selection over Ross Byrne in that reserve number 10 jersey. And finally, like I said, Robbie Henshaw, clear target in the center position for the Irish team, will be coming off the bench. This is the bomb squad finish. Here's the bomb squad for the Irish team. Here's the difference that the Irish will be looking at exploiting in that center position. Robbie Henshaw will be massive coming over the bench for the Ireland for Ireland. Finally, the only back in reserve for the Springboks, Cobus Reinach. He showed his utility last week as a winger, and he will be on the. Last time they played the All Blacks with this 7-2, 7-1 setup, Cobus Reinach did come on as a winger, so most likely he will be on as a winger once again, and most likely I think that Damien Willemse will go to 10, and they're gonna take Man Lubbock off, and maybe not Lubbock. yeah, not too sure how they're going to shuffle things around, but Reinach will be covering the wing and the number 9 position, and obviously Damien Valenza will cover the rest of the backline by himself, and which makes him the greatest Springbok ever in the history of the Springbok. And so I actually think the good news for this game is that obviously with Anton Dupont potentially out of the competition, whoever loses this game and finishes the pool in the second position might be better than winning this game, to be honest, because France is really not the same without Anton Dupont, and the All Blacks is wounded down and out, and they're looking at swinging for the fences before getting crucified at home. So playing the All Blacks in the pool stage might be a more difficult task than playing France without Anton Dupont. So yeah, I think the team that loses the game is actually going to be better off, and I think that the Springboks probably will actually put their pride to the side and take the L here. So I think Ireland strategically take the L. Yeah, I think the Springboks will strategically take the L in this game, lose this game, and I think the score will be 5 points to Ireland, 25 points to 20. And that's my predictions. Let me know your thoughts. Ireland win by 5. So let me know your thoughts, guys. And I think that's actually better for both teams. I think Ireland matches up better against the All Blacks, and I think that Springboks matchups will be a better matchup against France, especially without Anton Dupont. So yeah, this could be one of those interesting games where, just like 2019 Rugby World Cup, the Springboks might just be happy to take the L here. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts. Like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate watching these videos. Thanks to everyone who donated money and supported me last week. And in the last few weeks, I really do appreciate that as well. Your hard-earned money is appreciated here a lot. And yes, and yeah, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys later this week for the review for this match. And have a good week. Cheers.